Hello, everyone, and welcome to the 2022 Shelly Sharpe Memorial. I'm Terry Miller, the Disc Golf Guy, and we're out here at Vista del Camino playing in the XL layout. Today's feature card, Cale Leiviska, along with Arizona's own Anthony Barela, AB. Got California's Drew Gibson, and our two-time and defending champion, Adam Hammes. As I said, this is round one, the front nine. And they're starting things off. There's going to be a Mando that they're going to actually have to navigate here first. But hole one, right down the pipe, 285 feet. If you watched any of last year's coverage or most of the Memorial in the last couple of years, the course is essentially the exact same. Cale was thinking the last time he played in this event, he went into a playoff with Paul Ulibarri. I believe he said he lost. Easy shot up the middle. Notice the flags. There's absolutely no wind out here today. Temperatures pushing the mid to high 60s. A little short and left for AB. We saw quite a battle last year at this very event. Barela, Gibson, Hammes, all putting on a show for us. But as I mentioned, Hammes, two-time and defending champion here at the Shelly Sharpe.
Hey, there's another one of those.
Even Adam recognizing that was a pretty skinny gap that somehow he got through. Well, and it looks like Drew is not picking up from the Tour Championships last year. I know it might seem weird to some of you to see him not cash in a putt from circle 2 or 3. Well, but Cale does. AB will be next to act. And if you're wondering, hey, this is going to be a little bit quiet and maybe a little bit subdued during the commentary, you're right. It's just me. In order to get this out right away as quickly as I could, I had to do the commentary solo. We'll see if I can get somebody for one of the additional rounds. AB answers with a birdie. And really just bonus placement for Adam after self-admittingly shanking that first drive. He's going to walk away with a birdie. So off to a good start, taking advantage of it. Like that. Big shout out. Spinners on the Green, of course, our presenting sponsor here of the tournament. As we take a look at hole number 2, 369 feet. You're going to notice 2, 3, 4, 5 even, all kind of have similar distances and for the most part require similar shots. 5's a little bit straighter, but also big shout out. Pete Ulibarri was the one that provided the drone shots. A little bit short there for Leiviska. And I was going to say there's, on all of these upcoming holes, there's a couple of routes. You can go with the low backhand skip shot, the low flex forehand shot. That's going to obviously work out just fine for AB. Sometimes we'll see a high kind of sky hyzer that comes in and digs. Plenty of options. Going to be low for Hammes. You're going to see Gibson You usually wouldn't see him with a hole of this distance going to the forehand. I think his forehand range is a little short of this. And that leaks left and gets away from him. We certainly know what kind of circle 2 or even outside of circle 2 specialist that Adam Hammis can be as well. Okay. Getting dialed. Draws a little bit of metal. Here's Cale again from circle 2.
That's fine.
100% from circle 2. Just lobbing up darts out there. And AB, park job. Keeps him 2 for 2. Big shout out, Huss Brewing. Like I said, head over to hole number 3, 9 feet shorter than what hole number 2 is, and very similar shots can be thrown. Of course, the green is a little bit different. I was going to say it's protected in a different way, is what I was saying. Elevated pin here. Cale said the one thing he didn't want to do is throw into that OB ditch area that's off and to the right. That was the reminder his wife had for him just before he threw. AB wishing he would have thrown it more left, he said. We've seen errant shots in the past head out and over the fence on this right-hand side. So if you've got the forehand and can play either a skip or the high shot like that, more power to you. And I think we're going to see Drew kind of go with a medium height shot. I feel like you either need to be more committed to the right or play it with a steeper spike. And you're going to find him in circle 2. All right. Now chain. He went from hitting basket to hitting chain. Let's see if he can get it fixed. What? Cale misses from circle 2? A little short and tentative for AB. Adam with the chance to pick up his second birdie of the round, and he does just that. So 3 guys at 2 under through 3. You're probably thinking, hey, what are the stats? Oh, I've got a few for you. Hole 3 played at 2.89 on the day. So a little bit under par. Hole 2, 2.82. Hole 4, 2.86. If you need any help with shipping collectible or valuable discs around, reach out to me. I offer my disc in a box. Those are adjustable boxes for all of your disc shipping needs. 381 for hole 4. This one has a little bit more challenge to it. Trees on the left side usually prevent players from being tempted with a forehand. You're going to see a high stall hyzer.
Oh, come on. Thank you.
I'm going to say just like that. I mean, that's really all there is to it. It's a little bit too wide for Cale. See if it gets a skip. Not quite enough. It was stalling out a little bit too much at the end for the skip. And AB knows that's tight. He's going to have an obstructed look from there. Stalling. We're not going to see too much skip, but it's not required. We'll see if Drew Gibson can get on the board here. Cale with another opportunity from circle 2. He's about 40 feet. Maybe 42.
Me, Drew?
Yeah, right, I'm right there.
Yeah, I think I'm a little further up.
No humidity, no wind, and just a perfect day out here on the course. Along with a perfect putt by Adam. He goes to 3 under through 4. This is Drew's shortest look at a birdie thus far. And he capitalizes. See a number of elevated baskets out here on the course. That's just to add a little variety and also add some challenge. Clearly not a ton of trees for the players to navigate around, so heightened baskets is something we've seen quite often out here. And also, as a clarification, the players can, of course, throw from the tee pad, and then on most of the tees, they have room left and right, or sometimes just to one side or the other, as to where they can throw from, so that you're not seeing them throw from the tee, and it's usually an area often to the right of the tee that is allowed. There's a little marker that indicates where they can throw, and we've got a mandatory or two actually on this hole that's really forcing the straight shot. There's a mandatory on the left side. There's also a mando on the right side tree. You have to come inside that tree that's on the right, and then up on the fairway here, there's a mando tree on the left. And you see it with the sign there, and that rolls out.
I think I made it.
It's truly an errant shot. You can't really say anything but that for Adam. Here's Cale, a little flip up.
Can I just take this since it was my turn?
Sorry. What was it? Thank you.
Drew calling out Cale, saying that he went out of turn. That he'd be happy with Cale's shot. I think he's even happier with his own, though.
Sorry about that.
Park job.
Oh, yeah?
Maybe a little bit frustrated, saying that's not turning for him. That's going to put him about circle's edge. Adam, no problems with regard to the mando. He's going to just play the pitch up.
Thank you.
Trying to avoid the low-hanging branches from that tree. AB hands it from a knee. Another circle 2 look here from Cale.
Thank you, guys.
Come on. Making it look easy. Leiviska. That is, what, 3 birdies, all from circle 2. Doing some work out there. Cale coming in from Minnesota. Him and his wife, Victoria. He said they were supposed to be, I believe, Cancun or Puerto Rico or somewhere, some other tropical place, and things weren't able to unfold, and said he still needed to get out of the Minnesota cold, and here he is in Arizona. Hole 6, the first par 4. We've got a few of them on the course, but 783 feet. OB all along the left-hand side. Also some OB on the right side. I feel like that gets tighter and tighter each year. And Drew not messing with the turnover shot. Just playing massive power hyzer. Oh, and it filters through the tree. Gets slowed down just a little bit, but that is almost perfect position for AB. He does get a skip. Keeps pushing, and you see the OB line. That's actually a parallel fairway with hole number 14. Drew throwing out the accolades, seeing just how solid those forehand shots are. Oh, Cale. No, finds that OB on the right-hand side. Doesn't quite have enough time to get back. I think it clipped that tree and then dropped it almost straight down. I'm not sure if it would have got all the way back in bounds. It would have been much closer had he not hit the tree. AB in good position, and you see the circle 1 flags there. Thanks to our friends over at Bushnell on the Edge rangefinder, we see 385 to the pin. That may have been specifically from Adam's spot, but he's within a few feet of where Drew is standing. A little cut roll back is going to put him right next to that tree. Adam's, one of Adam's sponsor, Resistance Disc, also a partner in sponsorship coverage here for me this weekend. Big shout out to Resistance Disc. So after the OB stroke, Cale is left with a pretty open approach. Yeah, the final little kind of cut roll that Drew got after it hit the ground to the right certainly made for an awkward position here.
Way too good of a shot to be right here.
Okay, so Drew, a little frustrated with that end result. So Drew's looking at a par. This is Hammis for birdie 3. Count it. almost the exact same distance here for AB. I feel like if you polled the players and said, you know, by the time you're done with hole 6 and we take the long walk over to 7, where are you hoping to be? Most of them would say probably 4, maybe 5. Obviously 6 is ideal, but if you're 4 or 5 under, you've done your work on the front. A little frustrated for AB. Now he's got a little bit of a tester coming back to save the par. No problems.
I gave it my 4 like the interval ones. I gave
Can actually see Cale from short range. And he'll tap in for the bogey. And there is a very lengthy walk. That's going to take us over to hole number 7.
Mid-round, what are we doing here?
Just getting the goods. Austin Hannum, left Discraft a few years ago and he's passing on the goodies to me. What a guy.
For a price, though.
For a price,
of
a
course,
fair price.
Yeah, of course. Nothing's free to this kid.
No. Those are the ones, though, right? Oh, yeah. Do you want me to hold on to them for now? Or?
All right, little disc swapping and big shout out. Good to see Austin Hannum. Also, First Light. Those guys are so kind and gracious to me. Help me every single time I come to a tournament to cover anything in Arizona. So big shout out Dan and Boyd and the rest of the crew at First Light. Here we are, hole 7. One of the easier holes on the course. I know it's 645 feet, but it's a par 4. A couple of stock hyzers at a little over 300 feet should get you there for a putt. One thing you can't do is cut it too hard to the left. There are some Mandos over on the far left side.
No. Charge the same disc, though. I'm sure.
And nicely placed. That should be easy approach from there.
Tommy, thanks for my disc.
That's going to work out just fine. There is an OB sidewalk off to the right-hand side, and then, as I just said, the road and some Mandos are all on the left side, but if you could draw up a picture-perfect drive, this would be it. Hear AB mention that it's a Wraith, his sponsor.
Let him eat.
And Cale trying to keep up with the young guns. You hear him letting out a little grunt there.
Got it. Bro, you're OB again. You were just shredding.
Closer to you.
Damn near. I just made more putts than him. If you would have made like.
Hole 6, actually, for correction, hole number 7, playing as the 5th easiest hole on the course here.
Yep.
Averaging 3.75, so a quarter stroke below par. Got a couple of good looks at birdie there. This is about as easy as it gets for Adam. With a drive like that, I think I could birdie from there 9 out of 10 times. Maybe even 9.5. AB a few feet closer than that. So my question, I always ask for you guys to put stuff in the comments. I'm going to have stuff to give away. I know Double G's Craft Jerky just sent out a few new flavors, so I'm going to share those with the world. Maybe I'll have a few signed discs by the end of the weekend that I can give away. I want to know, do you have a destination tournament? Maybe even specifically in the off season or the slower part of the season. Clearly, we're kicking things back up. One of the first A-tiers of the year here at the Shelly Sharpe, put on by Spinners. But do you have a destination tournament? Put that in the comments. Like, share, subscribe, do all that normal YouTube stuff. But put it in the comments for me, and that will make you eligible to win something as a giveaway here from my channel. All right, so keep that in mind, guys. Drew saying this hole is really tough, somewhat sarcastically. Let's see if he gets it in rounds 2 and 3. He may have just jinxed himself. Jinxing still a thing? All right, moving on. Hole number 8, clearly one of the most beautiful holes out here on the course. 360 feet downhill. The OB water, and can go OB long if you find the sidewalk. You see players go up the middle. You can also see a big, massive hyzer. Drew getting his disc returned.
Disc mid-round.
Yeah. You're gonna have an extra 6 months because of that run. Thank you, I needed it.
And as it says, use DG Guy. If you go over to resistancedisc.com, use DG Guy, in any order that you make that's over $30, we'll have free shipping with it. So please go out and use the code. And that is on the right side for Hamas, certainly in range. I love see Drew going up the middle here because I think it's just a beautiful shot. I'm also a little bit surprised we don't see him going with the huge spike hyzer. Maybe I'll have to ask him about that. AB, nice, gentle fade left to right. And that's going to flirt with the OB on the right, but clears it. No problems for Cale. Down there you see my boy on his first ever recording assignment. That is my buddy Kyle. Drew still all over the basket. So big shout out to Kyle. Working some catch cam. We're going to see if we can get him into maybe even some solo round camera action. Get some bonus footage for you guys this weekend. Cale off the mark. Quite surprising with just how dialed he's been with that exact same putt here in the early goings. AB with a chance, push to 5 under. He will. Adam answers. He goes to 6 under. 6 through 8, a great start for our defending champion. Cale and Drew will both pick up their pars, and we're going to move on to what will be one of the least birdied holes on the course.
Why didn't I make it?
We agree. It would have been a lot cooler. As I mentioned, this is the first PDGA A-Tier of the year. Head over to hole number 9, 482 feet. Adam and I had a discussion during the backup about, he said he's perfectly fine with a par here. He'll take a par every single time. Feels like if he pars it for 3 straight rounds, he will gain strokes on the field. And, you know, the statistics back that up. Oh, no. That is low, and the spotter runs over and kind of gives it a look, and gives him the OB flag. This is the second hardest hole on the course, averaging .43 above par. Big wide spike works out for AB. You need more than elite level power to be able to get to this pin with that big spike hyzer shot. Drew kicks out short and right. I believe there's a number of divisions that are playing on the amateur side that are playing from a shortened tee off to the right that do not initially throw over this water. So, not quite as daunting, but the water still comes into play even from the short tee. There is a sidewalk off to that right-hand side that's also out of bounds. You have to be careful with that. Flips up a little too straight for Drew.
Thank you.
Perfectly executed approach. And AB trying to go out and over. Almost cashes it. So Adam walked over.
All day long.
And understandably, the spotter didn't see it, I think, as it was tucked underneath there, and it was, in fact, safe. So the OB call overturned. He is definitely inbounds. In fact, inbounds enough that he's going to go down there and just stand from that spot. And that is definitely the call as well. Anytime you're close to an out of bounds, and if you're in, make sure to call members over from your group so that they confirm that you are inbounds. And Drew is going to settle for a bogey after not saving the par putt there. Here's AB for his par, and as he taps in, I got to also thank all of my Patreon subscribers. If you guys wonder how do you get off-season content, how do I get to so many tournaments that otherwise maybe wouldn't even be covered, it's large in part to the support on Patreon. So maybe consider looking into that. It goes a long way to get you guys the coverage, and I really appreciate it. So a few of the pars, the bogey by Gibson. We're through the front nine, and if we take a quick look at the scores on the front, we see Hammis does have the hottest round going. AB, Nick Newton, Connor Rock, Luke Sampson, all at 5 under. We'll see you guys for the back nine for the 2022 Shelly Sharpe Memorial.